Hey guys, what's up? Hope you're all doing well, everything's great, and you're having a good time. Hope you're all doing awesome and everything's on point. Welcome to another episode of Cronus, guys. I'd really appreciate it if you could like, leave a comment, subscribe, and hit the bell so you get notified as soon as I upload a new video. That way you can check it out right away and enjoy it. Alright, let's get started, guys. Let's get into today's video. Finally, the day we've been waiting for is here. Today, I want to show you guys one of the scripts or one of the game packs that's available for Warzone, or as you know, Warzone. So basically, I'm going to teach you how to use it and show you how you can activate things like aim assist, anti-recoil, or whatever features are in the game pack, and how to enjoy it. Alright, first of all guys, I've set up my Cronus. Pay attention to the cable that's connected to the computer. I've plugged it into the right side of the main Cronus screen, just like I showed you in previous videos. Now guys, in the program section, this is where I wanna... What is up everyone? Today I am incredibly excited to sit down and show you one of the most popular and highly requested game packs that the official Cronus company itself has recently developed and published directly onto their very own Zen Studio software application for all users to access. Let me explain. This is specifically for Call of Duty Warzone 4, as I mentioned to you. The current version is Bima 2, or version 2, which has been released. And in the next few days, version 3, or Bima 3, will also be released. I'll explain that to you again too. So guys, here it says COD, Call of Duty Warzone 4, Bima 2. So we click on this and bring it over to one of the empty slots in our game pack. Once we place it, like I did here, you can see it says COD Warzone 4. Now that we've put it here, we select the option that says Program Device, so it saves onto our device. Now guys, since I want to explain it to you on PC, I'm setting its output to PC device, guys. That's it for this first part. Now, when we go to the website, there are some explanations for the game itself, guys. The settings you need to apply in the game and on the Cronus. And it says here, and then when you come in to the Cronus website, which is called Cronus Support, you go to the Game Pack section, then to the Call of Duty Warzone 4 Bima 2 section. Look, everything is explained here. And in the mouse and keyboard section, if you're playing mouse and keyboard with Cronus, it explains here what the DPI should be, what the rate should be, what settings you need to apply in the game itself and on the Cronus. You have to set these up. Now guys, a lot of you say, man, this 10,000 DPI for mouse and keyboard is really high, it's annoying. Or for example, they've set the horizontal and vertical sensitivity to 4, which is a lot. Okay, we can lower it. So you can adjust that movement and as a result, how fast you react. You definitely don't have to set it to the maximum, but try it out at first. If it doesn't feel right, you can lower it. That's it from you guys. This was the information I needed to give you first. Now I'm connecting the Cronus to the device and I'll explain it to you using the joystick. What settings do you need to apply on the Cronus and in your game settings? Okay guys, as you can see, I've connected my Cronus to my gaming PC, which is necessary, because to use a Cronus, you have to connect it through the USB port on top. As you can see on the webcam, I connected it from here. The joystick is also connected here, and as you can see, I haven't activated any so-called gamepad. It's on the Cronus, and as you can see in the game itself, look, when I ADS, what happens? Do you see how much recoil there is? Or with another gun, guys, you can see the recoil just keeps going up like this. So the first thing I told you we need to do, guys, is this. We have to... These settings that are here right now, first of all, I'll show them to you in the game. Then we'll go to the Cronus itself. So we enter the game, and once we're in with the controller, we go to the game settings to check them out. Alright guys, we're in. In the settings section, the first option it says is aiming input device. We need to set that to controller. Okay, this is set to controller, and then it says that in this section, meaning in this part, you should set stick layout preset to default. Look, here it says to set it to default, though there are other options too. And it also says to set the horizontal stick to 4. See, I've set it to 4 here, just like you can see, and it doesn't go any further. For vertical stick sensitivity, it also says to set it to 4. Then it says to go to the dead zone section. Let's hit the square button so the menu opens up. It says to set left stick mean to 5. Look, left stick mean is set to 5. Then it says to set left stick max to 75. I've set it to 75. For right stick mean, set it to 10. I've set it to 10. Then set right stick max to 99, which I've also set to 99. So that's it for the in-game settings. Now for the DPI section, or your mouse sensitivity, like I said, you can set it yourself depending on your movement, or you can just leave it as you see here. It's up to you. Set it to whatever feels more comfortable for your movement style or whatever works best for you. That's it for this part. Alright, now I'm gonna switch to the Cronus. I want to activate the Cronus. On the game pack in the Cronus app itself, guys, I bring up Cronus, and when I click, you see it shows other game packs. This was the Call of Duty Warzone 4 one that I selected. By default, I've now set the compact as my primary, and for my secondary, I've set the Saiga again. Without activating the script, look, when I shoot and hold ADS, see how much recoil it has? Or look at the Saiga, see how much recoil it has? Okay, I'll change the magazine too, and now I'll switch to the game pack, specifically Call of Duty Warzone 4, version 2. That's its script. I'll bring it up so you can see. Now it's Call of Duty Warzone 4, version 2. Look, our first weapon, check it out. It's the Compact 92. Watch as I shoot. Did you see it? It's hitting the dot. Or I'll switch the weapon. Look, I'll set it to the Saiga, and now it's on the Saiga 091. Now let's look again. You see, it's hitting the dot. So I've activated the script, and it's hitting the dot. Now, if you want to change the script settings, guys, every script has an option. You need to assign an option button for it so you can go into the settings section of your script. Look, guys, by default or just as a standard, whenever they write scripts, they usually say the ADS button, and you can say that it's the same as L2, and if you hold the option button, which is this one, you see it goes into the Cronus' own settings mode. Look, at first it says button layout, which you can set to default mode. Tactical is the one I told you about. It can change your joystick buttons. For example, in Tactical, L1 and R1 might switch. I fired a shot, but I leave it on default mode. The next setting says stick layout, and as you can see, when I move my right hand, it switches to other modes. You see, Cronus itself recommends setting this to default. When you press X, you see it brings up dynamic, standard, and linear modes. I always set it to dynamic, press X, and when you press X, it stays on that one. Stick layout, left or right, take a look. I've written that you can see the right dead zone. Look, I move one joystick down, you see? I press this button and it switches to the left dead zone. Look, it's 5. Again, I move one joystick down. It shows ADS-X sensitivity, which I had set to 9, and then ADS-Y sensitivity, which I set to 75. The rest, as you can see, are all for hip fire and for your movement. You can clearly see they're for your movement, so don't change these because they really have a negative effect on your joystick movement. Alright, I'll make a circle to go into another mode, then I'll come back, guys, and set the game FOV to the same affected one that I use, and I'll select the top option. Guys, then I continue. Here I see that the field of view, or FOV, is set to 115. You can increase or decrease it. I hit the top option to save, make another circle, come back again, and press one of the joysticks. Scroll down to this mode, which is block rumble. I always set it to block because it really improves your aim. When you see I press the right hand, I turn it on, it really makes a difference. Set it to block, then I press down again to go to the next setting. This is really important. Look, it says anti-recoil mode. When you press right, it goes into other modes. You see? I always set it to enable, and I confirm it with the X button. Make sure to turn this FN enemy option, or on enemy, to on. Then I move the joystick again. Down here, you see it says across to adjust attachment. This is for your first gun. When you press the X button on it, you see it has an X profile. Then I press down again and you see it changed. Y profile, you see? X profile, Y profile. Since my first gun was the KMP K99, this part is actually its x-axis. If the gun shoots to the right, you need to set it to -100, you see? If the gun shoots to the left when you fire, you need to set it to +100. Adjust it until the recoil to the left and right is fixed. Now, when I go one step lower, you see it says Y, which means this part controls the up and down movement. Just like I did in the X section. I didn't change anything there, but since the Kumpak 92 has a lot of upward recoil, I set it to -12 to control the recoil. Again, I make a circle and come down here. Guys, this part is for attaching the scope, for putting on the optic. It's on the weapon, so whenever you attach any scope, you can adjust it left and right here, as you can see. 0.25x, 1.5x, 2x, 3x, 3.5x, 4x, 4.5x, 5x, 6x, 7x, 8x, 10x, 11x, 12x, 14x. It just keeps going up like this, so make sure to set it to generic mode. Always set it to generic mode. Because if you set it to scope mode, all your recoil settings will completely change and get messed up. So I'm lowering the DSR by 1 again. See, it switched to secondary, meaning your secondary weapon. So what was your secondary? It was a sniper, the SEF91. I'll click this X again. See, because the sniper is really strong, it was drifting to the left. I moved it 10 degrees to the positive side, meaning it brings it exactly to the center point when you're shooting, without moving the joystick. That was the X setting I mentioned, which is left and right. For the Y setting, we paid attention to up and down. When you're aiming with the sniper, its recoil goes up a lot. So I set it to the negative side, towards the negative level. For the Y-axis, which was up and down, I set it to -28. Then I press X again to go further down, and it writes it again. Now, for the scope of your second weapon, the secondary optic, let's take a look. Guys, again, I'm telling you, set this to generic, or just leave it on default. When you go further down, this goes in profile. Then again, first weapon optic, first weapon, then it goes to second weapon optic, second weapon. In profile 2, again, as you scroll down, you'll see you can make it profile 3 as well. You can create up to 3 profiles like this. Just like your loadouts, for example, you set your first loadout as compact and sniper, your second loadout is compact and, say, Car 98, and your third loadout. For example, you might set it up with, I don't know, maybe another SMG with a different assault rifle, and here you can control their recoil. Alright, I'm gonna hit the X so I can go back into another mode. Okay, that was the anti-recoil, guys. If I press down again, you'll see it's the same profile. Primary weapon and secondary weapon, see there's profile 1, profile 2, profile 3. You can set up 3 different loadouts. With this script, you can control the recoil. Look, it's switched to profile 1, and you can manage its profile. Alright, the next mode here is called Silent Aim. Look, it has version 2, it's disabled, version 1, version 2, version 2. I tried it out. It was fine, I'm satisfied. Now let's move on to the next mode. Look guys, here it says Aim. It says Assist Boost, Mouse and Keyboard, or Controller. You can set it to either Controller or Mouse and Keyboard. Set it to Controller so your aim gets better. Here is the fire mode, guys, where it tells you if you want rapid fire, select it with the right option. If you want dynamic fire, akimbo fire, or disable. Well, obviously everyone sets it to rapid fire, so leave it on rapid fire. Now I'll scroll down. Here it says shot mode. See, when I press the right button, it says jump shot on event, jump shot always, jump shot delay, auto crouch, drop shot, disable. I always set it to disable because I don't need it to jump or go prone every time I shoot. I'll go to the next mode by clicking the joystick down, and here's another mode, which is this list, guys. When I enter this list, you see it says quick scope, on fire, on ADS, disable. Well, obviously I need this too. Anyone who needs it can set it, for example, to on fire mode, so that when you scope in, it shoots. Alright, moving on to the next mode, it says select your weapon. This is so you can control the recoil of each weapon, whether it's your primary weapon or your weapon skin in whichever profile, 1, 2, or 3. First, you need to come here and select your weapon so you have the image of your weapon displayed. Then you can adjust its recoil. For example, is the assault rifle here right now? Look, if I click on the tab to enter, see? A KF-224, MS-225, AS-VAL, all the weapons that are currently available are listed in the assault section. I go to the same assault section. See, there's assault, there's battle rifle, there's SMG, shotgun, light machine gun, marksman, handguns, and sniper, guys. And here, you can also choose what mode your main weapon should be in. Regular fire, rapid fire, or regular fire again. Now, when we come to the last mode here, guys, look, it says VM speed. Make sure to set it to 8, like to hundreds of a second. Look at this, no matter how much lower I go, the mode is finished. That was it, guys. Now, I'm gonna switch to the main weapon and show you again so you can see how easy it is, guys. When you go to the anti-recoil mode, which is enabled, you press X and then push one joystick down. You see, it says primary optic slide, meaning your first slide is the primary optic. If you go one step lower, see, now it says secondary pound, which means it's your second slide. Look, guys, right now we're on primary. That means our first slide, which is the Compact 92, you see. Let me shoot again so you can see it clearly. You see, there's no recoil. I can even come over here and test it on the wall for you, so you can really understand how easy it is. With this script, you can easily hit your shots. Take a look. Let's see. As we go further, you can see, guys, it empties the whole mag in one spot really easily. Or with the sniper, look. From the second volley, it staggered a bit. Look at the sniper. Without me doing anything at all. You see, I'm just shooting while ADSing. I'm stepping back. Look, guys, I'm shooting at another spot. See, I'm holding ADS. With this hand, I'm not touching anything else. You see? See how easily it hits everything in one spot? I'll turn off the script again so you can really see the difference, guys. Watch, I'm on the normal mode. Now the Cronus Zen logo has appeared, and now I want to shoot with the sniper. Look, I'm just holding ADS and shooting. Do you see the recoil, guys? Where did the crosshair go on the screen? Now I'll switch to the compact. Watch, I'm shooting with the compact again. You saw the recoil. Where is it going? It's really easy, guys. For every skill or gun that gets buffed, you need to manually set the anti-recoil for that specific weapon. Set it up, guys. Thanks a lot for sticking with me until the end of the video. I hope the video is useful for you. Make sure to check it out and enjoy it. I gave you 2 gun examples. You can choose any gun you want. First, activate the anti-recoil and control its recoil. It's really easy. Then just jump into the game and have fun. If you have any questions or problems, guys, definitely write them down below the video. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. You're all awesome. Big shout out to all of you. I hope you try out this game pack and the script I mentioned. Enjoy it and have a great time. And guys, don't forget to definitely follow the Discord and Telegram channels, because I post a lot of programs and explanations there, so it's easier and more accessible for you. I'd really appreciate it if you like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell as well. Turn on notifications so whenever I upload a new video, you'll get notified right away, watch the video, and enjoy it. And my dear friends, thank you so much. First, get rich. Second, stay healthy. Third, keep spreading love. Don't forget that until the next video. Goodbye.